Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy. Sorry, for a second there I thought I forgot my paper trimmer, but I have my paper trimmer here. We're going to need it for today's card, and I want to make sure I have it. So I just got back from Onstage. Onstage is Stampin' Up's convention. You know, I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. That's why I make cards. Is I love paper crafting, and cards is just what I make. And so today we're going to use some new products that I just got and some new ideas and all that. Is going to be exciting. And this is my swap for Kindred Inkers. It's a monthly demonstrator meeting I go to, and we make swaps, blah, blah, blah. I have all my little pieces of paper cut here. So let's go ahead and just jump in and get started, okay? So new products. So if you usually go to my gallery to get the supply list and the measurements will be there after I post my video, but the supply list won't, because most of the supplies I'm using, or at least some of them, won't be available until May 1st. So then I'll go back May 1st, maybe around the 1st of May, I should say, because I'm not sure exact date. But anyway, I'll go back after that, and I'll have all the supplies on my gallery so you can see the supplies that I used if you need a list. Okay, so here's the stamp set that we're going to use. Like I said, going to be an online exclusive available in May. It is, I think, the cutest flower set that's ever been, but of course I probably always say that. It does have coordinating dies. They look like this. Now I've only used the outline or the oval dies one time. Let me show you that card, because I thought that card turned out cute. Here it is. But for a swap, it had way too many die cuts, little pieces and parts, so I decided not to do this pop-up or fancy fold card. So, but that's an idea of what you can do with the dies. Just these oval outlines, not even the little flowers. I haven't ventured into those yet. I will. Okay, let's keep going, because you know me, I start talking. I want to tell you too that when you order a die set from Stampin' Up, they don't have these Velcro dots. These are just something that Kim told me to add on to, or she suggested she did it for her, so I took it on. Oh. Hey Glenda, hi. Anyway, and that's a really good idea for your die sets. Instead of trying to get that little flap, this little flap here that comes with your dies, to stick it back in there, just stick that Velcro on there. It doesn't add a lot of width, but it's really easier to keep your die sets shut. So that's just a little tip there. Okay, let's go on. Oh, I dropped my paper. To my card here. Okay, so let me show you all the pieces and parts I have cut here. I have, first of all, garden green card base. Now this is your normal card base, 5.5, well it's 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it at every 2 1/8. So really what I did is I scored here at 2 1/8, and then I scored it at 4 1/4, and then I turned it around and I scored it at 2 1/8 again. So that's what this is scored here. Let's go ahead and just fold on those score lines. I'm going to take first and fold it in half. Where's my bone folder? Here it is. Like this, and then this one really just folds back so it's an even, and if you fold it or score it like I said, that's the easiest way to get it so it looks like that. And then you have a card base that's actually going to look like that. Then I have a piece of cardstock here. This is 8 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches, and now I've scored it at 2 1/8 and 3 1/8 from each side. So it's scored 2 1/8 and 3 1/8, and then I turned it around and scored it at 2 1/8 and 3 1/8, and then we're going to get a piece that looks like this. So we're going to go mountain, no, yeah, we're going to go valley, mountain on both sides. So valley, mountain. Anyway, when you get it folded, it's going to look like this. Yeah? See if my pieces are perfect. Close enough. So then you have this piece here. Then I cut a bunch of arches with the new, gotta love these, the new, what are these called? Everyday arch dies, right? Didn't realize how much I would use these. I love them. I use them a lot, and you get a ton of dies in that die set. That's another online exclusive. And if you're thinking, or you're saying, hey, Kathy, I don't remember seeing those, then you gotta go shop Stampin' Up online, because that's where all that is. So I cut one arch, and I don't even know which arches they are. I guess I could measure them. 2 arches and then 3 arches. And now I want to let you know that this color here is one of the new in colors that'll be available in May. And this is called Darling Duckling. Is that not the cutest name ever? And let's compare some yellow so you can see what Darling Duckling really looks like. So I have a piece of cardstock here. This is Daffodil Delight. So it's a little bit darker, I guess you'd say, than Daffodil Delight. But then if you go to Crushed Curry, it's a little bit lighter. So it's kind of in between those two, kind of a different shade. But this is, ta-da, Darling Duckling, a new in color. And you'll see a couple other new in colors in the video. Then I have a piece here. This is just basic white, 2 1/8 by 5 1/4, and that's where you'd write your greeting. We're going to put that on the back of our fancy fold card. Okay, we have all of our pieces. Now, like I said, if you missed the measurements and the score marks, not to worry, you can go to my gallery, BeCreativeWithKathy.com, and the measurements are there. Okay, let's do our stamping first before we put our card together. So I'm going to stamp on these 2 basic white pieces. I'm going to start with a new in color, and it's called Timid Tiger. I should have got the colors out for Timid Tiger to show you the difference too, but I'm not really using the cardstock. I'm only going to use the ink, so, well, sorry about that. Okay, so the stamp set, I showed you that, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, we're going to use this flower right here, and it's a 2-step stamping, which is my favorite because, you know, I'm not a fan of coloring, and if you can get your colors by stamping, that's more up my alley. I have scratch paper here because I'm going to stamp off on the 2nd step. And I'm going to take this flower, and you can kind of see there's like a gap right here. That's where my stem's going to be. So I want to make sure that that's down when I stamp my little flower. And I'm going to stamp him, let's say, how about right there. Boosh. And I do love this color. I'm not usually an orange fan, but this color, I don't know, he works out pretty nice. So then this one is the background. I've stamped off. I've stamped my darker color first, or not stamped off because it's easier to see. And I might get my head in the camera. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't have it in the right place here. Got to find those little 3 things go here. There we go. Turn it around, Kathy. And then we're going to just stamp that and fill in. Did I get my head in the camera? Oh well. And look how cute the little flower is. All right, now we're done with that color. Let's go to another color. But for this one, because the designer series paper I'm using had garden green, we're going to just put a little bit of garden green stem on our flower here. I'm going to bring in my scratch paper so I don't stamp on my desk. Tap light. I don't want to get the corners. Oh, it looks like I did. So I'm going to get that off, and I'm going to just stamp that little fine stem right there. And then I want it to go to the bottom of the card, so I'm going to just ink it up carefully, and I'm going to stamp them again, lining that little stem up. Ooh, I did pretty good. Now, don't worry if you don't get it lined up perfect, because we're going to stamp a leaf there, and we can camouflage, I guess you'd call it, the stem mistake. That's what I'm going to call it, a stem mistake. Okay, I got my little leaf here, part of the stamp. Now, it also has an outline stamp for the leaf, but I like the solid leaf on this card, so I'm not even going to use that outline stamp. I'm going to just stamp my little leaf right here. Look how cute that is. And again, checking the edges, so I don't want any edges on my card. I'm going to stamp it down here. And then looky there how cute that little flower is. Ta-da! Okay, so we need a center now to our flower, which they come with the 2-step again with the center. I didn't bother. I'm going to just use the top or 2nd step. I'm only going to use 1 step on my flower. This is Early Espresso. I think it looks cute. It kind of matches the designer series paper too. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm probably getting my head in the camera this time because I want to line that circle up, or that center of the flower right there in the center. And look, just like that, I think the cutest flower ever. Okay, let me show you one more new in color. And if you're not familiar, Stampin' Up's in colors, they come in 2 collections, 5 in each color. They last 2 years. So the 2023 through 2025 is going out, and these will be the new 2025 through 2027 in colors. You can also see those online. Well, not the new ones, you can see the old ones. These colors will be available on in May, sometime early May. Okay, so I'm going to stamp up that little thanks, and this is the new in color Secret C, and it's a really, really deep blue. And there again, I should have got the cardstock to show you the difference, but I didn't think about it. So I'm going to stamp that little thanks right here in that blue. And look how cute. That's going to be our card front. So now, on that other basic white, like I said, this is going to be the back or where you'd write your sentiment. We're going to start with another new in color, although its welcome back is Strawberry Slush. And we have another little flower image, this one right here. Well, really these two, we're going to stamp that one on here. So I'm going to start with that outline or the top or the step. Really, I think it's supposed to be step 2, but I like to do the darker color first. So, and that's not the darker color. Yes, that is. Whew. Come on, Kathy. Okay, again, I'm going to check the gap because my stem is going to go in there. And I'm going to just take and stamp him right there. Look how cute he is. And then the second stamp, I'm going to stamp that off and then line him up. And really, these flowers are pretty easy to line up. But look how cute that is. Let's bring back in that garden green and add a stem. I'm going to put him up in that little gap, I guess I called it, and just stamp him down right there. There, and he's long enough, I'm not going to worry about adding an extra stem to him. We're going to add up or ink up that leaf again, and then just put one little leaf right there. Okay, so we're done with our stamping. Let's go ahead and take all of our little pieces and parts now, and let's assemble our card. Oh no, we have one more thing we have to prepare. So I talked about the designer series paper. Excuse me, and this designer series paper is really pretty. I'm going to give you a quick glance, but it has all those pretty flowers, and then the background is kind of like just a print, but it's got the ferns on there, the ferns. Look at these sunflowers, how cute those are. Background, just a little bit of green. It's got these pretty prints. And like I said, this is part of the collection that goes with that stamp set and dies, and they'll be available the early May. Okay, so I took one of those pieces and I cut it at 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and we need to cut that in half. But I wanted to keep my pattern so it was in like order, so that's why I decided to do it on camera. Plus, we need our paper trimmer later to line stuff up. So, like I said, 3 3/4 divided in 2 is 1 7/8, and we're going to just take that and we're going to cut him in half. So really, we have two pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. I'm going to just take a little bit of tape, and we're going to glue these to these side panels of our card here. Right there. And then let's do this one and see how they still line up, and they're going to look nice on our card. Look at the back part. Isn't that cute with the fresh freesia, little pattern on there? It's kind of hard to cover that up, but trust me, we'll just get more paper and we'll use that pattern on another project. Okay. There we go. So now we have our card base decorated and ready to put together. So with this piece now, I'm going to take, and on these two pieces, just these end pieces here, I'm going to put adhesive on both of those. Oh, and you know what I should tell you is, I was looking for a fancy fold for my swap tonight, and I wanted something, like I said, that was a little bit easier and kind of quick to put together because I only had one day to do it. And I got this fancy fold idea from Terri. Well, it's Create with Terri Gaines, so if you want to go check her out, she has a really good video. She's got a really good YouTube channel. You'll check her out too. So thanks, Terri, first of all, for sharing. But okay, so I didn't show you. I have tape on this tab down here and tape on this tab down here. I'm going to kind of pinch it together and hold that T shape. And then in my card, kind of not exactly in the middle, kind of a little bit lower because that's where our arches are going to go. I'm going to just put it up against this fold line here. And I'm going to just squish it together and put that piece inside our card. Okay, so when you open it, you have something that looks like that. Right? But then when you fold it up and close it, it still folds up and fits into an envelope. Bingo. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I probably should have done this first. I want to put this piece on the back here so that I have a place to write my greeting. So that white, basic white that we've stamped on, we'll just take a little bit of tape here, and I'm going to stick this right here on the back. And it's got that little bit of color, makes it really pretty. I didn't stamp anything on there, but I'll write on that one. You don't have a lot of room anyway. Okay, so now we're ready to decorate the front. Let's put our layers together. I put my stamped, here it is. I'm like, where did my stamped image go? So I'm going to take that white arch here and just layer it on the Darling Duckling. And this right here is what I love about those arch dies. You get really nice layers, just like that. And then we're going to take that piece and layer it onto the garden green. Well, there we get the tape started again. There we go, nice layer. Now we just need to add some adhesive to the little, I think it's a rectangle here in the front of our card. And I'm gonna put a lot on there just in case I don't want that to come off. And then, where's my paper trimmer? I'm gonna use my paper trimmer here as an edge. Move all this over. There's like a little lip right here, and I'm gonna set my card here and make sure that I have it. So this is the bottom, right? I'm gonna lay the bottom here, and then I'm gonna kind of lay this along the bottom, make sure it's centered, and then lay that down. And a little pressure, make sure it's stuck, and now you have a card that looks like this. Is that not adorable? Now the cool thing, because we've got this edge perfect down here, when your recipient gets their card, they can set it on their desk or on their counter, and it stands up really nice, and you have kind of like a masterpiece that they can see when they're sitting down or when they're in their desk or whatever, but it sits there. Cute, right? So now we need embellishments on there. So I'm going to just take my little brushed bath, the brass butterflies. Too many bees for me to say on camera. And I'm going to just take 3 of these and plop them on the front of my card. So I think I want a big one right here. We'll take a little guy and throw him over here, and then another big one to kind of fill in this empty space up here, and then you go like that. So there you go. So there's my card. Now I just have to make 14 more of them for my swap tonight, and I should be good to go. But that is a really cute, fun fold. Thank you, Terri Gaines, for sharing, that you can make, because it doesn't take too much time to make a swap. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Plus, I do love the new products and the designer series paper. Okay, ramble on I will not. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you back here next Monday. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.